Welcome to the Best of Texas Wrestling. To prove that, in this program, we're going to show you something brand new, something perhaps you have not seen before, something that was invented in Houston, Texas, a six-man, two-ring tag team match, three men on a side, action going in both rings at the same time. Now, Texas has been famous for inventing a lot of the innovations that have taken place in wrestling over the years, and we're justifiably proud of that fact. And we say that this one, the one of two rings and six men involved and action in both rings at the same time, is something that was missing from the long roster of variability that happens in wrestling itself. We hope you're going to enjoy it, and that you will mark down in your book the fact that you saw it on the Best of Texas Wrestling, and also that it deserved to be there. That's important too. Up in the ring is Boyd Pierce, ready to introduce an unusual event to you.
Dear contestants, ladies and gentlemen, and the stipulation, there will be one man from each team wrestling and a opponent from the opposite team in this ring. Also in ring number 2, there will be the third man will be between the ring, eligible to tag in from the ring. Your contestants in the far corner and far ring, the three-man team of Gary Hart, Killer Brooks, and Hart Mantell. From Lake Down, Texas, the father and son team, the fabulous Bonner, Fritz, David, and Erich. We will be one each ring and exchange in front row for the trophy.
So we have the start of a six-man, two-ring tag team event. Well, there will be one man from each team in each ring. There will be two matches going on, actually, at the same time. There will be one man from each team in between the two rings, and they have the privilege of tagging in to either side. And you see Fritz von Erich tapping David von Erich. David goes through the ropes and comes into the ring on this side to wrestle Killer Brooks. Referee in that ring, ring number 2, is Danny McShane. You recognize him by the light color of his hair. Over in the ring number 1, it's Dutch Mantell, who is trying to trap Kevin von Erich. And von Erich is bouncing around there with the agility of a gazelle. I heard that someplace, although I have never attested to the agility of a gazelle, but he was bouncing around there beautifully. But Dutch Mantell in the far ring has a hold reversed on him as David switches around and puts it on a twisting arm lock on the big Dutch Mantell. Crotch hold and slam. On this side, that's David von Erich. Drop kicking Killer Brooks. There's the takedown on the far side with Kevin von Erich applying the grip to the arm of Dutch Mantell. Side headlock in this ring number 2 for David von Erich. Hard for us to shoot past ring number 1. Number 2 rather, into number 1, but we keep trying. That's David. David is lean and angular, a tremendous basketball player, and he has been training for wrestling since he was 6 years old. And right now, this is his initial appearance in the city of Houston. He has wrestled extensively in the Dallas and Fort Worth area. So with Gary Hart on the outside, well, no longer on the outside, he decides that he's coming in, and he starts to take over on David. And David, who has become good at the sleep hold, is defended by his brother. You see the action taking place there. Actually, Killer Brooks tried to get into the ring. In the far ring, we've got Fritz von Erich, and Fritz is taking on Dutch Mantell. But Killer Brooks has come back in, and he is working over David Von Erich. Kevin is in the corner right up here above us, and on the left part of your screen, he touches with his father. He comes into that ring quickly, and he is possessor of a side headlock. In the meantime, Killer Brooks, well, that's David. You see him on the far side with Dutch Mantell doing the work. And David now hauling off to let Killer Brooks know what it means to get one in the whiskers. Look at that Kevin in the background. Whoa, well, I'll be darned. Beautiful work by Kevin Von Erich. There's the touch. This means Killer Brooks goes in where Kevin is in ring number 1, and Fritz Von Erich takes a claw hold, the iron claw on the head of Gary Hart, and these fans are screaming for Fritz to squeeze it to a pinhead size. With the Von Erichs are all in the action right now. In the far ring, both David and Kevin are in, and Fritz Von Erich goes after the claw hold on Gary Hart. Hart, you see in ring number 2, down on the canvas. In the far ring, you see Dutch Mantell slam the head of David Von Erich into the turnbuckle, while Kevin Von Erich goes after the midsection of Killer Brooks. That's David reaching over the rope, grabbing hold of Dutch Mantell, who doesn't actually belong in that ring since Gary Hart's in there. He was going in to try to save Gary Hart's bacon. So we've got a match going on between the rings. We've got one in the close ring, one in the far ring. You can't get much more action than that. This is a form of wrestling that was invented right here in Houston as a supplement to the 2-ring battle royal, which we did not invent. But this 6-man tag team event with a match going on in each ring, we are proud to say is a product of Houston wrestling. So David is in the corner in the ring number 2. The 5-minute mark has been reached. Dutch Mantell is in between rings, and you'll see looking at Kevin underneath there as he pounds away at Killer Brooks. Kevin is trying to set up Killer Brooks, and look at the way that boy drop kicks. Oh man, and flying head scissor. He gets up there like he is a big bird with orange trunks on. So Dutch Mantell comes in, and he looks like a mad Mantell. Backbreaker on David, and of course David had been slammed into the turnbuckle. We could have a fall on David in this near ring, and in between rings, Fritz Von Erich clobbers Gary Hart and lays him up against the buckle as Killer Brooks catches it from both sides in between rings. So that's Dutch Mantell, who just missed a guillotine drop on his recumbent opponent, and so did David Von Erich miss. Kevin Von Erich is in between rings right now. And Gary Hart just jammed a finger into the eye of Kevin Von Erich, and you see Kevin laying on the canvas between the 2 rings, while Fritz Von Erich is catching kicks from Gary Hart to try to make him break that iron claw. And as Kevin came into the ring, not yet recovered, he was whirled through the ropes and out of the ring on the far side, but he's coming back in again. David, closest to you, with an arm lock being held on him by Dutch Mantell. Gary Hart is being rolled up by Kevin Von Erich and pinned. Kevin Von Erich pins Gary Hart. So Kevin scored the pin. So Fritz, David, and Kevin make the score. The first fall has been chalked up in this six-man tag team event. We tell you we'll be back here in a moment. So we start the second fall of this 2 out of 3 fall match. And the Von Erich team is ahead by 1 fall. You're looking at Dutch Mantell as he reaches out to shake hands with David Von Erich. David Von Erich is the tall one in the family, a tremendous basketball player and football player and wrestler, and he has a great future. But Kevin Von Erich is looks to me like he's going to be the shining light of that Von Erich clan. And Fritz Von Erich in the center of the ring is hanging on to Dutch Mantell with an iron claw, and you see David hauling off to belt him and to get him into the ring here where he can do something to him on the close side. Killer Brooks trying to pound away at Fritz Von Erich in that far ring. Gary Hart urging him on, and David Von Erich is taking care of himself in this, the near ring. Well, Fritz threw him into that top turnbuckle. He went way up in the air, and his head crashed into the top of the ring post. Gary Hart starts in the ring after touching hands with Dutch Mantell, but his progress is momentarily interrupted by Kevin Von Erich. So outside on the floor, past ring number 1, on the far side, we've got Killer Brooks. We've got Dutch Mantell pounding away at Fritz Von Erich. In the near ring, we've got Gary Hart taking advantage of the punishment handed to David, and David is out on the floor. So we've got somebody on the floor on each side, and Fritz has just been hit with a chair, and here is Kevin Von Erich coming down on the head of Killer Brooks, who just used that chair on David's father. So it isn't a matter of Fritz coming to the rescue of his sons. It's a matter of the sons being able to stand up for themselves and being more than willing to take their part of the action. And now Fritz Von Erich is giving some instructions to his son Kevin to bring Dutch Mantell over where he can get after him. So Kevin goes into the ring with Killer Brooks, and Fritz Von Erich starts after Gary Hart, trying to get in and to relieve some of the pressure on young David. So the touch, Mantell comes in, and now it's Hart and Mantell in the ring. And Kevin on the far side, you can see him down. He has been hit with something that was wielded by Killer Brooks, who is a dangerous individual. So into the ring comes Gary Hart. He wants to capitalize on what Brooks has done, and Fritz is trying to give a signal to his son on the inside, and the son is using the Von Erich iron claw hold. There's Brooks into the ring and Fritz into the ring. Solid. Here's David over the top rope, over 2 rings, and he pins. Will all be done. He just pinned Dutch Mantell by diving over both rings, and there is a space of more than 4 feet. It's about 4.5 feet high, the top rope. He dove over the top ropes of both rings. He hit Dutch Mantell and sprawled on him and pinned him. So help me. The feat is fantastic. But out on the canvas also is Gary Hart. So the team of Von Erich has won. And there they are with the huge trophy as, well, the trophy's been rescued and taken out of the ring, which is a good idea. And the action continues as the Von Erichs grab a hunk of somebody in all directions. But Fritz is after Gary Hart, and he's making it plain that he means to stomp him through the canvas. Here is the Von Erich tribe. The three sensational Von Erichs. And they get the trophy and the victory. And their opponents are scattered all over the canvas. We'll be back here in a moment. We'll have more action for you after this word from the studio.